Hey guys, today we're going to be looking into the Soviet Mig-15 and the action it saw in the Korean theater against the American F-86 Sabre. The Mig-15 is a jet fighter aircraft developed by Mikoyan Guryevich for the Soviet Union. The Mig-15 was one of the first successful jet fighters to incorporate swept wings to achieve high transonic speeds, and was the first ever Soviet fighter to be equipped with an ejection seat. Until the arrival of the F-86 Sabre into the Korean theater, the Russian Mig-15 outclassed and outmatched everything in the sky, astonishing American pilots with its agile maneuverability and intense firepower. The American B-29 pilots bombing the north were shocked to find themselves being attacked and their numbers decimated by cannon fire from swept-wing jet fighters painted in North Korean colors. The F-86 Sabre was called to Korea to counter the success of the MiGs, and one of the most classic air battle matchups of all time began. By the time the F-86 had been in service for over 1 year, and it arrived with the new General Electric engine that could produce 5,200 pounds of thrust and also had a one-piece flying tail, which provided more control at transonic speeds. The F-86 at this point had undergone many tests and was thought to be ready for action and a good match to take on the MiG-15s. But the MiG-15 still had a few advantages. For example, the MiG-15 had a combat weight of about 11,000 pounds, in contrast to the combat weight of the F-86, which was just over 14,000 pounds. The weight was not the only advantage the MiG-15 had over the F-86 Sabre. The F-86 Sabre was originally armed with 6 M350 caliber or 12.7mm machine guns, boasting a powerful 1,250 rounds per minute. The machine guns were easy to aim due to tracer ammunition, allowing the pilot to adjust to the target. However, it was soon discovered that the 12.7mm machine guns offered limited firepower, and the pilots needed time on target to register adequate hits to bring down the target. The Soviets, on the other hand, preferred 2 or 3 high-caliber cannons in the form of 2 NS-3 23mm cannons firing 550 rounds per minute and 1 NS-37mm cannon firing 450 rounds per minute, which made aiming more difficult, but the trade-off was that a single 37mm shell was capable of decimating an F-86 Sabre. The MiG-15s had a better than 2,500 foot per minute rate of climb advantage, could turn tighter, could out-accelerate and out-decelerate the F-86 Sabre. One will often hear the F-86 was faster or the MiG-15 was faster. This largely depends on what altitude the aircraft were at, and even there was not a large or excessive difference, something about 3 to 5 miles per hour. The MiG-15 did have some shortcomings, such as the MiG's control systems needed constant attention and the heating and cooling systems of the cockpit were almost ineffective, causing loss of pilot efficiency at extremes of hot or cold. These conclusions were drawn from testing of a MiG-15 that defected during the Korean War. However, these flaws are denied by Russian pilots, claiming the opposite to be true, leading to the Russian conclusion that the MiG-15 captured by the American side was in some way damaged. Overall, the MiG-15 has a very slight edge over the F-86 Sabre on paper. However, in real life, there were other factors that allowed the F-86 Sabres to come out on top during the war. One such advantage was the American F-86 pilots were equipped with G-suits that helped them sustain more Gs, where the Chinese and Korean pilots did not have such equipment. This allowed the American pilots to make tighter turns and push their aircraft to the absolute limits to get the kills. Alright guys, here we go. MiG-15 versus F-86. I'm in the MiG-15. We're painted in North Korean colors here today. And Feisty is flying the F-86 for us today. You can see him right there. And looks like he's got a nose down attitude, building some energy for the merge. That's the merge right there. He was going high. And here we come for the second merge. Looks like we're going to be pretty neutral through this one. Actually, I beat him just a little bit, but not enough to make any real difference. So one of the major advantages that one of the other advantages that the F-86 is going to have over the Mig-15 is that he has a better roll rate than I do. I have pretty much every other advantage, but just by a hair. And so I would say more that these aircraft are evenly matched, more so than I would say that the 15 is better. It's just like by such a slim margin that it's almost negligible. I will say that the Mig-15 does a really nice job of raiding around circles in comparison to the F-86, but the F-86 seems to maintain its energy a little bit better as well. So you can see everywhere where there's an advantage, the other one has another advantage that kind of negates the other aircraft. So these were actually very evenly matched planes, and a lot of the time it just came down to pilot training and who was better, and maybe a little bit of luck in the end of the day too. So we can see here we got Feisty right there, and you can see every time I try to force a 2-circle, he's going to try to bring it 1 circle, and so there he is over the top. Anytime we get into a scissor, I'm going to want to do a rolling scissor. I just don't have the roll rate to want to roll with him, essentially. Every time that I do try to do that, I mean, I might do it here a little bit just to show it, but we'll see. So right now we're in a rolling scissor, and it looks like we might be losing it here. Yep. Okay, he's won the scissor, so I will be exiting at this point. We're going to dip our nose down, get out of his nose, so he can't shoot us as he comes across. And that's it. We have exited the scissor. We are now trying to force a 2-circle here. We'll come around. Feisty has also taken the bait. There wasn't really much else he could have done. So we're back in a 2-circle fight. This is where I would like to be. Drop the nose a little bit just to gain some energy. Not too much. Don't want to hit a tree. Okay. Gonna let that speed build. Feisty's on the other side of the circle. I actually haven't been able to force an advantage yet as I'm trying to let the speed build, but you can see right here now I'm starting to win that. Starting to pull the nose around real tight, real quick. Okay, he's right in front of us here. And the main problem with this is the gunnery on the Mig-15 is actually rather difficult. I just shot into the sun, so that was pretty dumb. Couldn't see where the bullets were going. So yeah, the gunnery is really hard because the shells are very heavy, so you need quite a bit of lead if you're going to hit a target. You all want to be pretty close, especially if you're using the 37mm, but you know, the trade-off is if you hit him once, he basically disintegrates. So that is a positive, I guess. The problem here is that Feisty is one slippery son of a bitch. And see, come on. Alright, we're back in a 2-circle here. So yeah, with a guy who knows how to jink correctly, it's very, very difficult to hit him, especially if he's looking for the cues. He's looking for the lead to see when I'm about to shoot. He knows all the visual cues he's looking for, so he's very, very challenging to hit, especially in these cannons that require quite a lot of lead. Kind of losing visual on him here. The visibility is not great out of the Mig-15. The Sabre had much better visibility out of the cockpit. Alright, there he is. See, like, even this is nowhere near enough lead. Those all fell short behind him. Look at his roll rate. Oh, we hit him. We hit the tip of... Look at that. Yep, aileron, I think that is. Is that an aileron? Yeah, I can see a piece missing off his wing there. You would think that that would impact his flight quite a lot, but he still seems to be in pretty decent control of that thing. Is he still trying to force a scissor with only one aileron? I'm not sure he knows he's missing his aileron. Oh, he'll figure it out in a second when he's stuck in a bank. Yeah, okay. I think he's got it. I think you realize he doesn't have one. I mean, it's alright. Like, he can compensate with rudder input. It'll just be a little harder. A little more stuff for him to manage. It's not a huge deal. Alright, so we're just gonna sit a little bit out here and then turn onto his circle right here and pull that nose through. The Mig-15 really does turn nicely at the correct speeds here. See, the problem here is every time I come in, it's either the sun or I'm a little bit too high aspect to get these rounds to land on him correctly. And every time I get close enough to try to hit him, he just, you know, he does his jink out of plane and I can't. My gunnery's just not good enough to land shots on target. Ooh, that was close. Alright, so at this point in a real fight, the pilot fatigue would have been rather large for a Mig-15 guy. And as the fight went on, just the controls were not hydraulic in the Mig-15 from my understanding. So it was much more difficult to do a prolonged fight like this. Okay, so it looks like he's taking the 6th position here. It looks like he might be trying to force some head-on stuff here. He wants to do head-on passes or something. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, there's not much else he can do. But, and a head-on pass is 50-50, you know, it's just his 50 cals won't do crazy damage to me, whereas one of my rounds will completely destroy his aircraft. Should he get lucky and put his 50 cal round, assuming that he can hit me in a head-on pass, if he can put his 50 cal round right through my cockpit into my face, you know, that'd be pretty good. Alright, here we go. So again, like, look at him. He's so slippery, man. God damn it. And, like, look at me trying to roll with him. As I roll, I kind of lose control of the aircraft. Like, right here, we've departed flight. Where'd he go? Oh, shit. Dude, I have no idea how I survived that. Oh shit. What is going on? Alright, no worries. We're just gonna go around for another circle. Try to regroup and figure out what the hell. I swear that tree was gonna hit me right in the face. I don't know what happened. If we didn't hit it or if we went right through it. I can't even tell right now. And then we almost had a mid-air collision with him. Alright, there he is. Alright, we got our bearings back. Alright, back on his 6. See, he kind of has no option other than to just wait. I swear the guns on this thing are really hard, actually. There he goes. See, he's back into trying to force a one circle here. Yep. That's a scissor with one aileron. Alright, so once again, I'm not doing this. So we're just gonna pull out of here and get really close to the ground. Really close. Okay. Alright, I didn't think that was gonna be that tight. Gotten lucky a couple times in this fight so far. The Mig-15 definitely handles well, but it's got its quirks, so you just gotta be careful with those little things. And it would be really nice if I could put some cannons on target here. It looks like we're coming in for a head-on pass this time. And, ooh. So I'm not completely sure, but I think he might have hit something in that head-on pass. The only thing I can hope is that it didn't hit anything critical. And so we're still in the fight here, and he just hit me 2 more times right there. Sweet. So he's got these nice little head-on passes now that are kind of working against me. And every time oh no. I think the Mig quit on me. Oh. Yeah, that sounds like an engine shutdown for sure. Well, there we go. I guess Feisty wins this round again. Alright, my dudes, let's do this quickly. Because we did a lot of like turning around and looping around each other, so I think we can maybe fast forward through a lot of this and just talk about the important concepts. So you can see here, Feisty F-86, true airspeed at the merge of 455, I'm 421, 460, 430 into the merge. Looks pretty neutral. It's a good merge right there. Both aircraft are pretty similar in terms of their capabilities, so that was to be expected. We get a couple of situations here where we're just kind of in a scissor, and me being in the Mig-15 with the superior turn rate, I kind of want to force a 2-circle fight where Feisty's going to try to keep this a 1 circle. Currently we're in a scissor, which is a form of 1 circle. You can see he managed to get some rounds off there. And so once he does that, like right around here, I realize that I am not going to win this scissor. It's right here when he's very clearly behind me, right? I probably maybe realized a little too late, to be honest. And so I'm going to just disengage from that, and I'm going to go and try to force a 2-circle. You can see Feisty comes back down, and we're head on, and I literally just ignore that. And I continue to fly around in that circle. And again, okay, so here we go. Now we're in the 2-circle. So I finally managed to force that. And this is where I want to be. I'm going to be able to get up behind Feisty in this situation. You can see a true airspeed of 426, and he's sitting at a true airspeed of 433. Okay, look at his degrees turned per second is 17.4. I'm sitting at 20.8. All right. And watch this as we both settle into our turns a little bit nicer. That was because he rolled out. He came out at 26. So here he is once again trying to force a one circle. I'm going to play the game with him. We're going to get into the scissor. Now I'm going to favor a rolling scissor in a situation like this because my roll rate is so terrible. Him in the F-86, he's got a much better roll rate. You can see him demonstrating it here. This is kind of why he wants to be in these scissor situations. He's probably going to come out on top, and he's got far more control than I do in situations like this. Once again, here, again, I can see that I am losing the scissor. So I dip my nose. Notice how I dip my nose enough to get out of the position of his nose. So I don't want to cross in front of his nose as I exit the scissor here. And Feisty's going to give chase. Sorry about that. So he's behind me. He's going to give chase. We're back into this rate fight on the ground. 19. He's at 12. You can see like I'm pulling much better. So here I kind of lost control of the aircraft there, so that's why you see the degrees per second kind of drop. And then I try to get my speed back. So this is the only situation where he's kind of winning that circle. As you can see, I start to get back into my favorable position as my aircraft builds up its speed. And you can see that I'm going to start coming around this circle. Look at my degrees per second, 17.3. He's only at 12. Yep, so now we're here. And right there. So, right, let me back it up. Just a hair. Okay. And let's get rid of some of these lines. Okay, so what Feisty is seeing here is an aircraft with a full frontal profile. He can see a little bit of my underbelly, which tells him I'm pulling lead, and I'm about to shoot. And as he suspects, I do shoot, except I'm a terrible shot. So, and I haven't quite gotten the feel for how heavy these rounds are. And so they're going to fall short on him, but he can't take that chance. So what he's going to do is pull, and this is his out of plane maneuver, and he's going to exploit his roll, and he's going to basically jank the crap out of me, lose control of his aircraft, but recover. And he recovered pretty quick there, so good for him. I managed to come back down. I don't get my kill, but I do end up back on his 6. We're going to try it again. He once again sees me pull a little bit of lead. All right, so as we come around, there's my lead, so he can tell, okay, shit, he's going to shoot. So he's going to maneuver out of plane, roll out again. And I'll be honest, he might be getting a little lucky that I'm such a bad shot in that situation. And so we're back into this scissor. And so you see this? I'm done with the scissor. Like, I'm just not doing it. So I'm going to go around for another turn. We're back in the 2 circle. I'm constantly trying to force a 2 circle. Anytime I find myself in a 1 circle, I'm going to try to force a 2. And Feisty's doing the opposite. Once again, he's doing his little jink maneuver. Extremely slippery, very annoying. But I guess when you think about it, if you're a pilot who can identify the situation to jink, and you can jink correctly, you're almost invincible. You can't be hit if you do it correctly every time, right? And so there's the part where he gets hit, and I knock off his, I believe it's his aileron. And so he is now, doesn't have as much control on the aircraft. And I hadn't realized, you know, initially I saw something fall off, but I wasn't sure what it was. But Took me a couple seconds to realize it was the aileron. And so in this situation, he has to control the aircraft with full rudder, pretty much. And so we're just back in the same two-circle fight where I try to get up behind him. He does a really good job of continuing to be able to jink me out, considering that he does not have one aileron. And let's be serious, I'm not doing myself any favors with my gunnery. And so back into all of this, back in the scissor, back in the two-circle. It's just the same thing over and over again. We got our little rolls here. You can see every time that we get into a scissor, Feisty has a bit of the advantage here just because he rolls better. Right, like there he is behind. I play the scissor with him a little bit, just hoping that he'll make a mistake maybe. But he just doesn't do that. So as soon as I realize that not only is he not making a mistake, but he's starting to win the scissor, then I just leave. Right, I go for the two-circle fight again. And so here he actually extended a little further out. And again, we're back in the scissor. Same old thing, just repeating every time. I kind of want to fast forward to right here. So this is the head-on pass where he hits my engine block. The head-on passes, this is why I hate them so much, because they're 50-50. Either you hit him or he hits you. You know, very, very dangerous. So there's all of those rounds. Mine are going just underneath them. His are going right over me. So very dangerous. And actually other way around, sorry. His were going under me, mine were going over him. And you can see right as we pass each other, he manages to just get his nose up and get a couple of rounds to hit me. Maybe just one round, I think. A 150 caliber round right through the engine block. And that's the death kill right there. That's actually what does it. And a couple seconds later, my engine just shuts down. The engine tries to hold on a little bit, that good old Soviet engineering, right? And right here it turns off. And that's it. Alright, so F-86 Sabre wins the fight. Well fought to him. One round right through the engine block is going to shut the MiG down. Usually that wouldn't be enough for a MiG, but if you can put a 50 cal right through the engine, well, that's going to stop just about anything. Big thanks to Feisty for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you like this series, little Korea stuff. We can do more of it in the future if you guys like it. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.